Sidney Crosby's future with the Pittsburgh Penguins is in question as the team has been struggling this season. Amid this, Jamie McLennan, co-host of TSN's Overdrive show, proposed an unlikely trade involving Crosby and the Toronto Maple Leafs. During Monday's edition of the show, Brian Hayes, Jeff O'Neill, and McLennan discussed Crosby's future in Pittsburgh, as the Penguins have been going through a rough patch this season. Before Crosby signed a 2-year contract extension at the beginning of this season, there were already trade rumors involving the future Hall of Famer. Although Crosby has made it clear he doesn't intend to leave Pittsburgh, the idea of his departure continues to be a topic of discussion for both the media and fans. Hayes and O'Neill mentioned on the show that they know the trade is unlikely, but it would be fascinating to see Crosby finish his career with the Maple Leafs. The conversation began when McLennan was asked to come up with a hypothetical trade proposal that could kickstart a negotiation to bring the Cole Harbour, Nova Scotia native to Toronto. Since we're speaking hypothetically, I would trade Sidney Crosby and Tristan Jarry for Joseph Woll, Easton Cowan, and a first and a second-round pick because of Crosby's contract term. That's a package that Leafs GM Kyle Dubas might not even consider, McLennan said. The hosts agreed that the financial aspect would be a significant obstacle for the trade to be feasible. Crosby and Jarry both have multiple years left on their contracts, which would require the Leafs to take on a massive financial commitment, raising the acquisition cost and making the trade even more difficult. For Leafs fans, the idea of seeing Crosby wear the blue and white jersey would be a dream come true that many may never have thought possible. Crosby is one of the greatest players in hockey history, and his presence in Toronto could add a new dimension to the team in terms of both performance and popularity. However, the reality of an actual trade happening is highly remote. Crosby, now 37 years old, seems destined to finish his career with a franchise that brought him to stardom and has kept him as an icon of the sport for so many years. Crosby's loyalty to the Penguins is a defining feature of his career, and his history in Pittsburgh is full of achievements and memorable moments. Still, as in hockey, anything can happen, and the idea of one day seeing Crosby as a Maple Leaf remains an intriguing topic to speculate about. While a trade seems unlikely at this moment, uncertainty is part of the sports world, where surprising changes sometimes occur. So, while Leafs fans can dream of having Crosby in Toronto, the current reality is that he remains an integral part of the Penguins. The Maple Leafs will have to find other ways to achieve success without the addition of the legendary player, but it's never safe to say that such a move would be impossible in the future. Never say never in hockey, and history has shown us that unexpected trades can change the course of teams and players. For now, Crosby is likely to stay in Pittsburgh, but speculation about his future leaves everyone, especially Leafs fans, wondering what it would be like to see him in the blue and white. While the prospect of Sidney Crosby joining the Maple Leafs seems like an improbable dream, it is worth imagining what such a move could mean for both the player and the team. Crosby's skill, leadership, and winning mentality would undoubtedly inject an extra level of confidence into a Toronto lineup that has struggled to break through in the postseason. The addition of such an accomplished veteran could help turn the tide for the Leafs, who have faced several playoff disappointments in recent years. Crosby is not just a player, he's a symbol of excellence and resilience. His career, marked by 3 Stanley Cup championships and 2 Olympic gold medals, has proven time and again that he knows how to lead a team to victory. The experience and competitive spirit he would bring to Toronto would be invaluable, especially for young stars like Auston Matthews and Mitch Marner, who are looking for that key element to elevate their games and push the team deeper into the playoffs. However, the financial reality of such a trade would be a formidable obstacle. Crosby's current contract, which includes a significant salary cap hit, would require Toronto to make substantial moves to accommodate him. The Leafs would likely need to offload high-value contracts or work out a deal involving significant salary retention by the Penguins to make room for Crosby's deal, which could create ripple effects throughout the roster. Additionally, there is the matter of the Penguins' willingness to part with their franchise icon. Crosby's legacy in Pittsburgh is unmatched, and trading him would not only be a blow to the team's morale but also to the fans who have cherished watching him play for nearly 2 decades. The Penguins' management would need to weigh the long-term benefits of acquiring young talent and draft picks against the short-term loss of an all-time great player. For the Maple Leafs, acquiring Crosby would not be just a financial and logistical challenge but also a strategic one. Crosby's playing style, though still elite, is different from the current Leafs core. The team would need to find the right balance to integrate him without disrupting the chemistry that has made them one of the most exciting teams to watch in recent years. It would be a major undertaking to build around Crosby and adapt their style to maximize his impact. The trade would also raise questions about team dynamics and leadership. Crosby is known for his intensity and strong presence in the locker room. His leadership would likely complement that of Matthews, who has taken on more of a leadership role over time. This could foster a healthy rivalry for the title of team leader, pushing both stars to elevate their game further. From a fan perspective, the idea of Crosby in a Leafs jersey would be exhilarating. It would be a historic moment, one that would be talked about for generations. Fans would see a player who embodies everything they hope their team represents: skill, determination, and the will to win. The excitement of watching Crosby skate alongside the Leaf stars would generate tremendous energy both on and off the ice. Yet, it is equally important to acknowledge the attachment that Crosby has to Pittsburgh. The Penguins have been his home since he was drafted in 2005, and he has become synonymous with the city and its hockey culture. The idea of seeing him in another uniform, let alone one that is a historic rival like Toronto, would be jarring to many hockey fans, even those who admire him. In the end, while discussions about Crosby potentially joining the Leafs will continue to excite the imagination, the most likely scenario is that he stays with the Penguins. Crosby's legacy in Pittsburgh is secure, and unless a major shift occurs, it is difficult to envision him leaving. Still, the possibility, however slim, serves as a reminder of how quickly things can change in the NHL, where trade rumors can turn into reality at the most unexpected moments. For now, Leafs fans will have to watch and hope that their team can build a championship contender in other ways. Whether through developing young talent, making strategic trades, or enhancing team chemistry, the pursuit of a Stanley Cup remains the ultimate goal. And who knows? In the unpredictable world of professional hockey, the dream of seeing Crosby in a Toronto uniform might not be as far-fetched as it seems, just not today. As the season progresses and the Maple Leafs aim to solidify their status as true contenders, the whispers about potential game-changing moves will inevitably continue. Crosby's name will likely come up in trade talks whenever the Leafs are involved, serving as a reminder of what could be if the stars aligned. While such a move would be earth-shattering, it is not something Toronto should rely on to build its championship aspirations. Instead, the team must focus on leveraging its current assets and developing its young core to reach the next level. The Leafs front office is tasked with a significant challenge, balancing the pursuit of immediate success with long-term sustainability. Acquiring a player like Crosby would undoubtedly be a bold move that signals a win-now mentality. However, this kind of decision can also come with risks. The salary cap implications, as discussed previously, would need to be managed meticulously to prevent future financial strain. A high-profile acquisition would come at the cost of future flexibility, potentially limiting the team's ability to make other moves in the coming seasons. In a hypothetical world where Crosby does end up in Toronto, the pressure on the team would be immense. The expectations for a Stanley Cup win would skyrocket, and the added weight of Crosby's presence could either elevate the team's performance or backfire under the immense scrutiny. Toronto has been known for its passionate fan base, which is as unforgiving as it is enthusiastic. Adding Crosby would certainly inject excitement into Scotiabank Arena, but it would also mean that every playoff failure would be scrutinized even more intensely. Crosby's potential move to Toronto could also shift the balance of power within the NHL. The Leafs, already seen as an offensive powerhouse, would become an even greater threat with Crosby's playmaking abilities and leadership. Opponents would need to game plan specifically for the added complexity of facing a team that includes one of the most well-rounded and legendary players of all time.